What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another live stream here. If you're new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Make sure you read what's on the screen. Trading is risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do here or anywhere else is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like code RDF, Top 1 Futures, Bookmap, and others. Let's jump onto the charts, see what we got going on here. We have, share this tab instead. There we go. We're up and running. Good morning. Good morning. Throw the banner up. We are here on the Top 1 Futures Project X platform. We got a link in the chat to check this out if you would like to. It's pinned to the top. Code RDF gets you the best deal. I have $1 million, over $1 million in sim-funded capital being copy traded right here. We have 7 of the brand new straight to funded Sim Pro accounts. These are going to be really interesting to continue to trade. Difficult to work with. I have not worked with an intraday trailing drawdown myself personally. I'm not super confident in how this is going to play out for me, but you guys are going to watch it play out live. That's my game plan here. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that overnight high level. Let's take a look at the charts. Good morning. Good morning. What's going on? Saib, Wolf, Blake, G-Man. Good morning. What is up, everybody? You know the drill. Smash like, smash subscribe. Good morning, Ralph. What's happening? We got the guys from Discord jumping in early this morning. If you're not in the 100% free Discord, feel free to hop in. It's my community. More than happy to have you in there. No, not a VIP feeder program, not so I could try to sell you a course or anything. I yap about these companies that I'm partnered and affiliated with, but outside of that, it's pretty much open season as long as you're being respectful. Yeah, so this is pretty gnarly off the daily, guys. Just taking a look at the daily chart here to get started. Maintaining really tight bullish structure, right? I don't think that many people would look at this and say that it's going down, right? I don't think we would draw an arrow like this. I don't think that makes much sense. Very simply, like without even really defining it in any clear way, that's kind of the direction that we're moving here, right? More recently, day over day, week over week. We got a strong uptrend here in the U.S. indices, continuing to crack prior day high. We know what happened on CPI news, getting a little bit more technical, a little bit more detailed. We just cracked to the upside. We pulled back down really aggressively. We didn't continue through. We traded all the way up to 6,074 3/4 here on the current ES futures contract. We are back down into yesterday's candle, prior day high, sitting right here off of the candle. Interested to see what's going to go on here. We just pulling back before we absolutely blast off. I mean, we're only a few percent off of all-time highs here. Like this is pretty dang bullish. Bears have really not been able to tear this thing lower. We've had some wild volatile dips on the low time frames, just intraday. For sure, like there's been opportunity to the downside. Saw that yesterday with some pretty wild back and forth movement, right? Here's New York session. A wild dip to the downside. Again, fundamentals, comments, coming out of U.S. administration, tariffs, all that fun stuff playing into this. But wild dip to the downside, ripped back up, pushed above the highs. Again, kind of difficult, into late in the day, 2 p.m., and then blasting back up to the upside. Pretty wild for sure. But looking at this session, this was some commentary for sure. I don't know exactly what it was, but I saw some guys posting in my my community about it. I'm not going to play too much on the fundamentals. Obviously, we pumped on CPI really aggressively. We shot 135 ticks out of a cannon to the upside, cracked above that, and then recently I've just been selling back off into the open here, 9:38 a.m. Eastern. We are selling back off, back down to VWAP, hanging out here. Buyers looking like they want to try it, but let's see where we continue to go from here. We had quite a bit of orders on the book up above price. 6,070. We got orders way back up here. Almost 1,000 on the book. Big stack of orders. But we did have some that were sitting here above price that have recently been pulled. So kind of interesting to see that happen. Almost a flat cumulative volume delta. But just looking at this, back to VWAP, man. We've been we've been hanging out at VWAP. Yesterday's session, we really hung out. I'm gonna look and frame some trades. Waited patiently and got a W yesterday, so we'll probably do the same thing. Just kind of see how this starts to set up. If buyers want to drive it higher off of VWAP back towards these highs, might not get another beautiful buying opportunity if this is going to be a very bullish day. We are in fact just pulling back down to this temporary volume point of control. Maybe we got to come back down a little bit lower before we blast off, but this could be it. This could be a dip lower, clear out this news candle, and then come right back up on it. So that could be interesting. Definitely not my play. Too early for me. Not going to be my setup just yet. But I'm interested to see what happens. If we start to crack back above these 50s, back outside a prior day high, and hold there, could be looking pretty bullish. Conversely, we start to run to the downside, I could see another buying opportunity down into the 20s, potentially the 25s. Got some liquidity at 30, but yeah, we got big players moving orders around. Like right now, again, we had something that was sell side. It looks like the same person trying to get involved just because it's the same quantity of orders. 600 right below price, like sitting right at VWAP. There we go. Got some volume filling right there. This is going to be interesting to watch. Going to be interesting. But as always, appreciate you guys hopping on. Thanks for being here. What's up? What's going on? Christy, AD, Scott, what's happening? Morning, everybody. Just about the same on NQ. Yep. Yeah, we'll have to let this one open up and see. I don't really have a trade setup that would be forming really quickly. I think I'm just going to kind of stay unbiased here. Obviously, coming off the high time frames, we know this thing has been pushing really aggressively to the upside. I'm going to do what I can just to stay flexible and watch this thing start to open up. I'd prefer to be a buyer over a seller today, just watching what has happened so far. If I was going to take it long, I'd probably look for something really aggressive, probably about 20, 25 points lower than we are right now. Not going to jump in here off of VWAP, although this certainly presents a setup, right? We got session lows here. You could say, dude, this is bullish on high time frames, bullish on low time frames. We're back to VWAP, buyers stepping in, sellers can't take it lower. You send it long America from here. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with something like this. You can go stop loss below all of this consolidation, stop loss below overnight low, and say this thing is headed to the upside. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that. You want to start playing it real tight, you pull something like that. Maybe you don't shoot for the moon. You could pull something like that. We continue to break lows, continue to sweep lows. You're wrong, at least right here. Maybe we break down lower and then try it again. You try the long again. A couple different styles to trade this. For me personally, talking about what I'm planning on doing, waiting for this thing to pull back down further. If sellers are going to give this up and we're going to turn this into a complete down day for some reason, I would be wrong looking for buys, but I could see it down here off of a sweep down below this level, a test of, yeah, I'd really like it from down in here. Just looking at levels of structure, right? Pretty obvious area, tested multiple times. It's our overnight low. I could definitely see it from down into the 20s. That would be pretty sweet. I don't know that we get that, though. Don't know that we get that. But for now, I'm going to stay patient. No immediate setup. Potentially a long if we start to dip a little bit lower. Looking aggressively long on this. If we blast off from VWAP, I'm going to miss it here, but I'm not convinced that we don't take out lows again. But we're going to wait and see and find out live. What's up? What's going on, everybody? George, Andrew, 830 price respected so far. Okay. Yeah. The low of this 830 candle, I'm guessing that's what you're looking at. The 60.39.5. Something around that level. Just checking out a couple of messages right now. Want to make sure everything's rolling smooth. Back down to VWAP here, just kind of hanging out, man. Kind of hanging out. Looks like we want to dip lower again. We start to sell off. I'm going to look aggressively long. That's my first play. We start to push to the upside. I really don't have anything. I think that would be me missing the long off of VWAP. I'm sure a ton of people are getting long right here. We're obviously consolidating. It's a level that we've got some volume being traded. You know, no surprise there. I'd be waiting for this more aggressively to push lower, and then maybe run back up towards the 70s to go grab that liquidity. 870 on the book up there. It's been sitting since 9:30, 9:29. So not all morning, but yeah, we got a lot that keeps coming on above and below price. This is some interesting movement on bookmap. If any of you guys are watching the DOM, you'll see this stuff. Here we go. Got some sellers driving it lower. Going to be interesting. Going to be interesting. If we start to push to the upside, where are we headed, right? Because so now what I got going on here, I'm jumping out to the hourly. I usually don't jump out to such high time frames, but to mark a zone right above price or just levels of interest, I really got to zoom out here. So we got the 60, 70s on the book. Past that, the 6100, I could see a climb all the way up around that level. So I had this zone marked, which is kind of just above our overnight high. I'm going to get rid of that. And yeah, it would be off of all of this. You can see the levels of structure around that 6100. Starting to sell off here, so I don't want to take too much time away from my low time frame. But yeah, I'd have to go all the way up here with a zone. And honestly, it's not really clean. We've been back and forth so much through it. The only reason I'm scrolling back is just to kind of take a look at tops and bottoms and look at levels of structure. But I'd have to say the 6100s, I would mark that probably below it if I was looking for a target to the upside, into like the 95. So I'll make that kind of wide from the 1 hour. But if we really started to crack to the upside, I could see an extension that far up. So here we go down into the 40s. Let me not miss the move to the downside. Let's see where that ended up. Oh, what happened? Why are we not syncing across time frames? That's annoying. Okay, let me not get distracted here. We're selling off down towards this level. I want to know why that's not syncing over from my 1 hour time frame, because here's where it's supposed to be. Interesting. Interesting. All right, down to the 30s. Like I said, was cautious looking long off of VWAP for this reason. I'm looking for like a sweep down towards this overnight low level. I don't know that we crack it. I'm not going to wait for us to sweep it. I don't think that we do, based on this level of structure, but I'm looking for a move down back in here. Where this wick down to, where we found a lot of buyers back down here, this temporary volume point of control, looking at the visible range volume profile. To me, that looks pretty good. It's lining up with the 60-30s. We got quite a bit on the book down here. 154 on the book. So I'm interested to see what happens as we come down to this level. Looking somewhat aggressively long. Again, I might be just holding out for something that's not going to come. We could turn at any point. We could also rip my face off, right? We're selling off. We're down through VWAP. Sellers might say, you know what? Today's the pullback day. Wednesday, we finally got some news. We got some movement. We cleaned everybody out to the upside. We picked up everything we needed to, and now we're just going to dump this thing, right? We're going to nuke it. So there's a possibility of that, but I like it long. I like it long around the 30s. That's my play right now. I'm going to take a look at that as we start to come lower. I'm talking 30 to 25 realistically, right? Down around the low of this crazy 8 a.m. wiki news candle. This consolidation looking left. This might be all we need, though. Let's take a quick look. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Where's your head at today? You guys looking long, short? You already taking trades on this? You in on this trend to the downside, looking for this thing to sell off? What is your play? Where are you at right now? This looks like a lot of buyers stepping in right here. Let's see. Overnight low is a point of interest. Gotcha. Short, Ralph Short. Gregory, what's going on? Undecided to me. Waiting game for now. 8:30, 7:20. You guys are looking at price levels based on time. Cool. Yeah, this looks strong on the push back up. Again, I'm looking at this thing long. That might be it. That might be the last dip. Hang out down below VWAP, or hang out at VWAP, dip down below, take everybody out on the fake out, and now we're going to push this to the upside. We continue this downtrend structure. I'm going to get less and less hope, but we got a lot on the book down here at 30. As we started to come lower, yeah, we might not get it. That's looking like some volume behind this. Right back up to VWAP. We start cracking this to the upside and holding through. That might indeed be the move. So I could see more of a continuation trade setting up here. I might try this. Yeah, man, this looked good on the way back up. It's just a lot of buyers stepping in here. We had quite a bit of volume traded as we wicked lower. If we come back down on this now, I don't think we're continuing to the upside, at least immediately. I think we're really going to sell off into overnight low, down into these low 20s. We got buyers that stepped in on this. I'm tempted to now try this as a continuation play, right? At least continuation on these couple 1-minute candles. Right, stop loss right below this for 10 points. Yeesh. I don't know, guys and girls. I don't know. It's a valid play. Looking long, cracking below VWAP, waiting for us to sell off and then find some decent strength back up. I'm just watching bookmap. The 40s had a lot on the book. I was looking for another dip down and then an opportunity to jump in on this. But I think I'm going to miss it to the upside right now, and coming through VWAP is going to be the play. Didn't get my level hit to the downside. Right? Looking into the low 30s to the 20s. We traded down to the 35s and then found some buyers, but this looks strong. I might try it if we get a little bit of a dip on one of these candles back down to the downside. Trying to find my way in long here. That was giving me some opportunity on a dip down below. And again, now this is the impulsive move, right? Like I'd like to be in. I'd like to be in if this had continued lower and then we started to do this, right? I'd like to be in down here. Now we pulled this movement. The long, as we continue to just come back up and then take everybody out and continue lower, is really, really forming some serious downtrend movement. So if this happens, it's just not as clean off of these lows. Damn, yeah, here it is through the through VWAP. That one's going to be close to being journalism mistrade. Let's see. Stuck waiting again now. Damn. Yeah, there's the pop through VWAP. This wouldn't have looked too bad. Again, why long up here, right, after a level not getting hit? I'm looking long for all the reasons that we described coming into the session, right? Higher time frame structure, lower time frame structure, the movement on news, pull back to VWAP. I'm not taking it right here 5 minutes into the open, but we get a lot of buying pressure here, some hold, an aggressive sell-off, and then an immediate buy back up to come back through VWAP. That looks really good for a long. That to me looks good for a long. It didn't dip to my level, so I don't have to say that this is a missed trade. But if I'm being honest with myself, there's was a little bit of hesitation there, waiting for this to start to pop to the upside, and here we are pushing to what would have been a winning trade. So that would have been the immediate push back through VWAP after a dip below. Again, more of a continuation. I'm talking continuation on immediate 1 minute candles or aggressive reversion if I'm entering really, really aggressively as we're selling off. So that's first thing that I'm eyeballing this morning, or was eyeballing this morning. So let's see where we go from here. We start to chop around VWAP. It's going to be a whole lot of nothing, but I could see some buyers stepping in and trying to drive this thing higher. I missed my nice entry. It's obviously not the same trade as it comes back down lower. It's different data, different time. I'm going to be looking at it again around VWAP. I'm just interested to see what happens here. Interested to see what happens around this point. Still have liquidity to the downside. Still have a lot to the upside when we look at the 60s, 70s. This could look strong. Again, still have it on the book. 100 all the way down to the 60, 30s here. So we could be seeing one more dip lower, but I think we blast off from here. And I think I hesitated right here because I didn't get my level hit on this sell-off. Was really looking for down into this area. And this just wasn't deep enough for me. But that was the movement that I was looking at to get long on before continuation to the upside. So a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more discretion to jump right in here as we're starting to come through VWAP. And probably would have been stopped. Yeah, it would have been stopped in profit somewhere in here. I wouldn't say I'd still be long if we start to blast off, but that would have been a W. Let's take a look. Let's take a look where we go from here. 60-40, still have it on the book. 35s, 30s. We got some stacking up above. Yeah, cumulative volume delta growing positive. This looks good. This looks good. Gonna have to wait and see. Gonna have to wait and see. Chat. I missed a nice entry on that one. Yeah, gonna be stuck waiting on this. I don't have a I see you guys comments in the chat. What's going on, everybody? Yeah, you don't have to say don't enter now, but you can say what you're doing, right? I think that's a good way to talk about trading. We're all trading different approaches, different styles, right? And I like to hear everybody's input. You can obviously say whatever you want, but you don't have to say, do this or do that for anybody else. Like, what you're looking at, I think is good and important. Yeah. Well, but buying now. Yeah. This, again, to me, this looks strong. This looks like the dip below VWAP and then a push back up. Missed my initial entry as we started to come off those lows. Again, it's a tough one to call, right? If I'm looking all the way down here for a retest, is it really a missed entry if we don't hit that level, if we just turn above? Technically not, but in another sense, yes, because the continuation type setup where I'm looking long overall based on recent price action coming into the open, trying to stay on bias, we wick down below and aggressively are bought back up through VWAP after a lot of bullish structure prior day, prior week coming into the open overnight. That could generate a buy for me, especially if I had to have a way to structure risk, and I did. I had a way to get a 10-point stop down below that low that says, hey, if we continue lower, we're not coming through VWAP and pushing to the upside here, 10, 20 points. We're selling farther off, and we are, in fact, coming all the way down to those 20s, those 25s. And when we do that, we're not just coming down impulsively, we're breaking and retesting to the downside, and it's looking real damn weak. So I'm gonna have to review that one. We shall see. Good morning. Is code RDF will stay to next week? Yeah. RDF is good always at top 1 futures. But I don't know how long this I shouldn't say that. I should know. Hang on one second. I think it's till the 18th. Hang on one second. How long is the current discount good at top 1? Pushing back up to the upside. Yeah, I'm gonna have to frustratingly watch this one. This is a tough one. Missed entry. Here's what we're looking at. Let me go ahead and share this. I'm gonna tell you code RDF for 55% off of the new accounts, and everything else is good until June 18th. So what is that? Next Wednesday. Yep, next Wednesday, June 18th. That's when that code shuts off. I'll drop the link in here so you guys can check it out as I'm sitting here watching this damn market move without me. Part of the game. Let's see what we get. Let's see what ES has got for me today. No pressure, man. No pressure. Thanks, use RDF and got a new straight to fund it. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, guys. So we got we got a bunch of stuff going on. Obviously, prop firm world is always changing, new stuff rolling out. We got good and bad stuff going on. You want to check out Top 1 Futures? Link is in the chat. I'm partnered. I'm affiliated with them. I can't stand to be unbiased if I am standing to make money. But they got new accounts that just rolled out. Straight to Sim Pro. I got a bunch of videos up on these. I would encourage you to watch them if you don't like to read. And if you like to read, to go to the site, go to the frequently asked questions page, and read through. They allow you to copy trade more of them. They are cheaper, faster path to live, but they are harder objectively and subjectively, in my opinion. They have an intraday trailing drawdown. They have an equity stability score. You also need a minimum trading days, 10 minimum trading days, and 7 profitable trading days, defined by 0.1% green. But yeah, that intraday trailing drawdown and the equity stability score, taking into account your largest winning day and your largest losing day, not just your largest winning day, to me is harder. So I'm going to have some fun with you guys trading them live here, seeing if we can't work towards that nice payout. But it's going to be a test run. I have not traded anything with an intraday trailing drawdown up to this point. I'm not a fan of it because it's harder, but we're going to work with that. We're going to see if we can't work with that. I'm going to trail stop losses nice and tight in profit and try to not let winners come back down on us, which would be difficult to work with. So we did pop to the upside, came all the way up through the 50s, traded towards like the 52s, kind of consolidating here, not really doing anything too much, trading right around the 60, 50, right at prior day high, just sitting here. Obviously a key level that we've been hanging out at, right above VWAP. I'm interested to see where we go from here. I missed my initial potential trade. Not super clean, but definitely something that I would take on another day. I'm always happy to say that. You know, if I see something, I just get a little bit hesitation, maybe because we didn't sell off exactly to the point that I wanted or closer to my zone at all. But we got some nice movement out of market structure and order flow. Just wasn't quick enough to jump in on that one. Probably just being distracted, zooming out on the 1 hour chart, trying to figure out why my zone wasn't coming through to the 1 minute. But let's watch what happens here. We start to pop to the upside. Maybe we start to drift this bad boy back higher. We start to slow zombie grind on a Wednesday. Getting long on this thing all the way back up to like the 6,100s. I could see it. We're looking very bullish on this from higher time frames. Conversely, we start to come lower. I don't know that I like this as much. Aggressively long, but I'm going to watch it on bookmap and take a look down at that same level that I was watching from this morning. Below the 30s. But yeah, we got quite a bit all the way back up here at the 70 mark. The 6,070. So we'll have to see. Appreciate you guys hopping on. You know the drill, man. Smash the like button. You don't have to do anything. Free means free. I'm here every damn day. Do whatever you guys want. You want to help me out? Feel free to hit the like button. Good morning. What's up? Good morning. I agree. The new straight to funded pro, not for beginners like me. I haven't got a payout yet. For me, challenge accounts make more sense. Doesn't make sense for me to keep buying straight to funded and blowing them. Yeah, for sure. I think it depends on 100% where you are as a trader first, right? You know, that's probably going to dictate it first. Then your financial situation, and then what you actually want to attempt based on your style of trading. So, you know, if you're coming from, demo into putting some risk on, the cheapest stuff, the absolute cheapest stuff, right? Because you're probably going to lose money. You're probably going to lose accounts for a while. And keep that tuition super low. You know, absolutely nothing wrong with that. You know, don't have to jump into copy trading a whole bunch of big accounts because it doesn't make any sense to do that. You know, you don't have a reason to scale yet. So keep it slow. Respect on not jumping in late entry. Yeah, man. It's not as fun as I'd like it to be. This would have been a trailed out in profit, but it would have been a nice trail out in profit. But yeah, you can't jump in late, right? If you have something that sets up and for whatever reason, distraction, you miss whatever excuse you want to make, you don't get an entry, just wait. There's going to be more opportunities, going to be more entries. Waiting for price to move or missing whatever your entry was, and then price does something completely different. That's not the same trade. Risk can't be structured the same. The data is different. The movement's already happening. You're not in it. Your trade's not on. So it's just different, you know? So you just got to hang out. Watching CNBC or switch to Let's Make a Deal. Overnight low still in play. Yeah, overnight. All these levels stay in play for me. They stay on the chart throughout the trading day. Down here for me is still in play. It's just not an impulsive move, right? Because now we pulled back up, cracked above a high, consolidated, and then start to sell off. That's a different movement, right? It's different market structure and price action than if we aggressively sold off down here and then aggressively buyers stepped in. We had a lot of volume traded like we did right here, and we start to just, come back up on it. It's not exactly the same. I'm still looking long aggressively down here. It's just not as clean. But this might not play out. We might, longs off of VWAP might not be too nice. We might just pop by, 5-8 points here and then come right back down on it. So we'll see. We will see. A lot of large news movement. Again, not to be negative or like no excuses to be made, right? Because it's no excuses, play like a champion as always. But for me personally, just based on what I've seen, right? I've traded for quite a while. New York session recently has been pretty difficult to work with. I've had some pretty solid results trading live with you guys on here, but overall, this has been pretty difficult to work with. We've got wild movement on overnight session, London, Asia, right? And then crazy chop, just sideways slop during New York. And it could just be summer slowdown and just we have to adjust quickly and kind of get into the movement that's happening, right, through the next couple months. But it's been interesting to work with. A day like today, crazy news movement to structure on doesn't make it super easy. I don't think so. But Again, no excuses, right? You can't just say, oh, the market sucks. The price action sucks. No trading. We're not going to trade any day because everything sucks, or there's no news, or there's news, or Trump's talking. No, I try to show up every day, wait for my setups to get put on, to come to me, and then put them on. That's it. But yeah, not been super easy. Ralph, I think the intraday plus ESS makes it very difficult. I think even experienced traders will struggle with those. Yeah, I think it's difficult. It's definitely difficult. I think you're going to see, just objectively more difficult. I'll leave it at that. I think you're going to see some of the largest payouts come out of top 1 futures very quickly with these accounts as well. Does Project X have a way of tracking intraday drawdown? I don't know. I'll have to play with that. It's a good question. My thought process on managing that is to not let trades run in profit and then come back down on me. It's either going to be realized or a loss, right? It's going to be either profit, small profit, or a loss. That's it. Once it reaches top or low, it takes some time to build orders, I think. Changed your name. Yeah, there we go. Balance automatically changes on Project X intraday. Nice. Yep. Yeah, for me, I wouldn't be trying to do, or just me personally, the way that I'm handling it, right? I think setting personal daily loss limit and personal daily profit target. That's how you're going to work with consistency rules, right? If you're going to work with an equity stability score that takes into account your largest losing day, define what that is on the front end. Do the math. That's how you stick to that. Intraday trailing drawdown, to me, is the hardest to work with out of that. It's just a beast. And for me, the way to manage that is trail stops. Trail stops quickly because that drawdown's trailing with you. And you want to realize that profit or you want to take an L. As you continue to trade after being in profit, you also have to take into consideration if you take an L after taking a win, right? That drawdown trailed up with you. So it's definitely tough. Definitely tough to work with. But you got a choice. You don't have to work with an intraday trailing drawdown. You can work with a nice, clean end of day trailing drawdown that gives you the flexibility to work in these accounts. And I'm looking forward to continuing to do that with the 3 original that I have. But outside of all that, I'm also looking forward to testing some cash accounts here in the futures market. Personal cash accounts, live accounts, not to be confused with prop live accounts. My really only holdup at this point has been trying to find a platform that I want to come off of Project X onto. And the honest truth is I don't. I really don't want to not trade on a TradingView chart. And I don't want to integrate a broker with a TradingView chart that I've tried so many times to do and deal with the choppy lag. I hate the way the movement looks. I just don't like it. So it's been on my to-do list in mind for a long time. But I'm just so comfortable here from being, I think, over a year now. I don't know when Project X first launched with Top Step as Top Step X, but I've gotten real comfortable on it, and I'm like, oh man, here we go. I'm on my race bike, I'm on my race car. Now it's time to get the new car or the new bike, and you're like, here we go. It's the same thing, but now I got to learn it again. The tools are in the different areas. The controls are a little bit different. It looks different. I'm not a fan of watching one chart and trading on something else. I did that forever back in the day in the Forex market, and it was such a nightmare, like not a clean way to trade. So, we're going to look at it. I'm not a fan of Trade-Evate. I've played around with that. I think Trade-Evate's great for people that love Trade-Evate. I was just born and raised on TradingView. It doesn't work smoothly if you try to integrate from a broker or a prop firm with TradingView, in my humble opinion. But having a TradingView chart here on Project X, super sweet, super sick. I love it. I like the way the Project X works. I don't have bad fills. I don't have issues. I'm obviously biased, right? Promoting a firm that is only offers Project X, but it's just my genuine opinion. I like Project X. Probably because I was born and raised with TradingView, right? But if you came from something else, you probably love another platform. You love, Trade-Evate. You love Sierra Charts or Quant Tower or whatever, Ninja. But it's just a change, right? Being a creature of habit and being comfortable on something, not wanting to change anything. Looking at the market, though, while I'm yapping about dropping some cash into an account and seeing what we can do and not have to worry about any rules outside of whether or not you can actually just trade. Watching this thing still hold VWAP. We pulled back down, got close, pushed to the upside, man. I'm frustrated with this one. I gotta say, guys, this looks like the drift higher. Was close, and this is just gonna be one of those days where I'm gonna have to watch it move without me. That's what I'm feeling. Don't have another setup long or short on this right now. Obviously gonna continue to hang out and watch, but don't have anything right off the rip that's setting up. I could see some potential resistance found into the 60s, right? Like if we start to crack higher, I could potentially see a movement back down to VWAP. Like if we're going to start to chop, I don't know that we get so far extended like we did on this news candle, but we got a big stack of orders up here at 60, 70. I'd be cautious getting short down here below that with a stop loss right there, just because I think we can pop up on that. Long way of saying I don't really have a beautiful trade. I'd watch what happens up into the 60s. If we're going to start to chop back and forth around VWAP, I think we might come back up out of this area of consolidation from pre-market coming into 9 a.m. Out of this area of high volume for a little bit, right? We're out above this. Yep. What was I even doing? I was messing around on the 1 hour chart. I'm going to have to go back and watch this. So I marked a zone from the 1 hour chart, right? And for some reason, this didn't link over to the 1 minute. Why? Yeah, whatever. Whatever. Weird. Anyway, that was my initial distraction. But here's the area that I'm looking at on the 1 minute because that's the price chart that I'm actually watching. Just mark it with a level. As we hang out and watch the market, but that's part of it, man. Part of trading. Go with something different here. A purple color. We got initial balance coming up pretty soon. We're not quite there yet, but I've got those hidden somewhere. Yeah. Initial balance, the 1 hour opening range, the area that price moves from 9:30 a.m. Eastern to 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Looks like we're going to be pushing it right now. Looks like it might be the low, and we're not going to set the high just yet. Well, where would it be? Where's our 9:30 open? Yeah, that was it. This is the high now over here. I'll leave that bad boy out for now. Yeah, anyway, hanging out, watching this market. Let's see what we get out of this one. Appreciate you guys hopping on. Let's see. We're talking about Project X. Let's see. Tried NinjaTrader. No, I haven't messed with NinjaTrader. I've thought about it a couple times. I haven't messed with it at all. Maybe might have to mess with that one. If I went with NinjaTrader, or if I went with like Tradeovate as a broker, I would just use that platform. But I'm looking at some different options. Way in like AMP and some other ones. Try NinjaTrader. Reach of resistance. Let's see. My powers have been glitching lately. Need to recharge them. Other orders above session highs on bookmap. Dang it. Went long for one contract from 47.05. Just moved stop loss to 10 points. Stopped. Very nice. Very clean. Tom got long. Beautiful. Yeah, let's look at bookmap because we had stuff getting moved around all day and we continue to. I'm going to fade this coming up. I'm going to show you why. Okay, you know what? Let me backtrack. I'm going to stay focused for a second, guys, because I was playing around and I missed an entry messing around with the zone. So I'm going to try not to do that again. But I'm going to show you After I potentially look for a setup or a hangout here as price starts to crack towards these 60s, why I might be more inclined to get short below this overnight high level, because we had 895 orders sitting on the book, 900 orders at 60.70 since 9/29. Anybody that watches order flow or is using any tool outside of bookmap that gives you level 2 data, you'd be able to see this. What happened to those orders at 60.70, guys? They're gone. They got pulled. We still have orders up to 65. We got like 130 right underneath, right above where those orders did get pulled. We got some at like 72 and 75, all the way up to this overnight high level. But I'm looking at these 60s, getting a little bit appetizing here, and watching those orders get pulled. There's not as much indication that we're going to run towards that level. So, for those reasons, I'm looking short. Call me crazy, guys. Call me crazy. Let's see. Let's see if we can get a crack like right up into these highs. Maybe trade towards the 65s first. 10:20 a.m. Yeah, we're going to get initial balance up here. It's going to be more likely to break first since it's formed last. Just playing off of some stats there. Not really what I take into consideration in my trading. Yeah, I'm going to watch what happens on this push up. Quite a bit of orders right in front of price here to the upside, up to the 60s. Looks like it's actually just below the 60s. Interesting, interesting. Let's see, can we fill here? Maybe give me a short entry? Looking at this to chop back down towards VWAP, not continue this movement to the upside? Or do they drive it lower right here? And I don't miss one, but I don't get an entry. Trading the 57 3/4. Yeah, come on, we're going to fill that. Those buyers just have no juice at all. Here we go. Here we go. Now what happens? Nope, still a lot of orders there. Still 300, 400, right above price. We started to fill, started to get some volume traded. Yeah, this is a little odd on bookmap, man. This is interesting to watch. Waiting to see if we pop to the upside through these orders on the book. Sitting right here, trading the 58.5. Interesting. Interesting, chat. Interesting. Let's see. Again, guys, I'm looking at this short back down towards VWAP. Back down towards that area of high volume. We had quite a bit of orders sitting right above price here. I'm looking for a crack towards these 65s. We had a lot up at 70, like a lot. I'm going to hide this until it's actually set because it's confusing me. Not confusing me, I just don't like it on my chart. There we go, through the 60s. Do we just drift higher here? Do we pop? This is an interesting one, man. Bookmap looking not so clear to me. I wouldn't mind it for the 65s because that wouldn't give me a bad spot, but we might start to take off from here, man. That might be all we have to do. I think my last opportunity is coming up to try this bad boy short right here. Yeah, I'm going to run this with...
Order filled.
I'm going to run this with one, guys. I'm going to run this with one micro. Excuse me, one mini. I'm short. I'm short from 60.59.5. Hanging out up here. I was looking at liquidity getting filled up here. Waited. It did get filled. We got some orders down below, down to the 50s, back down to the 45s. I'm looking at this as some potential chop up here. We start to take off and drift higher. I think we're just going to run highs, and we're going to turn this into a big bullish day. You know, we start to come all the way back up on this candle. I think we are taking off, and we're going to head towards the 6100s. So this can be my shot. Definitely not going to hold for a take profit all the way down there. I'm not going to do that though. I'm going to leave something on like I've talked about in the past. Just arbitrary, like big round number. If we just dumped for no reason, if Trump came in and said something crazy. But I want to get a trade on here with you guys. Number one, you know, waited patiently for something. You guys are hanging out on here. Try to show you how I structure these. I'm running this with light risk though. Half risk. If you've been watching my trading, I'm going about 2 minis. I'm averaging 2 minis with $1,000 worth of risk on average. This one I'm running light. It's just not as clean as I'd like it to be. I don't think I'm going to get another opportunity. I don't mind it because they pulled all that from the 70s. We are starting to kind of chop up here a little bit, but if we pop to the upside from here really aggressively, I'm dead wrong. No clean way to structure risk on this to the downside at all. Obviously, my long entry from right here would have been very clean today. That's unfortunately a missed one that I got a journal, right? I don't like to say it, but it's as close to a missed one as I can get. So anyway, short one from 60.59.5, stop at 60.69.5, all the way up towards those 70s. Again, arbitrary take profit, not going to hold for anything like that. You know, if we started to sell off crazy aggressively, I would just like to be taken out of the trade in case we had a wild price movement. But I'll be trailing stop loss into profit in a very mechanical way, the way that you guys have seen me do it, if I don't just get my face ripped off to the upside, right? That's going to be the play. That's my trade. Sticking to it. See what you guys got. Yeah, we were talking about bookmap. I'll try to show you guys bookmap after this. Zach, you were talking about someone who wanted to remind you about visible range, volume profile, low volume nodes. Yeah, something along those lines. Thank you, Wolf. Who was that? Let me see. Who was that? While we're watching this one. Nothing for me to do in drawdown. We start to move into profit. I will drag that stop loss into profit. But outside of that, nothing to do but just hang out. Let me see who was asking about volume. Fireblade. Fireblade from Discord. You guys and your crazy names. You on here? You on this live stream, brother? Let me know. And if you are, let me know what you were looking at. Well, let me know what you were interested in. You were asking about volume profile, high volume nodes, low volume nodes, something along those lines. Let me know what you were looking to get info on. I'm happy to talk about it. Slowly grinding higher, pushing to the upside. Yeah, I see somebody commented. Somebody's commenting on bid 503. Andrew, what happened? What happened to those contracts that were there? Yeah, we got a lot getting moved around, man. We had like 500 on the book, 503, 493 at 60, 57 and a half. If I'm looking at the same thing as you, they're not there anymore. Those are not there anymore. So we got up now. It might be up above price. Yeah, we got a lot getting moved around on bookmap. It gets kind of difficult to utilize it when we have so much getting moved around. It can be spoofing, it can be manipulation, it can just be, just distractions for anybody that's using the order book to read. But when this starts to happen, I should probably just take it less into account and say there's just way too much happening too quickly. By the time I'm reacting to something and framing a trade idea or structuring risk, it's already changing. So, I want to be cautious with it. But that looked good. It looked really good as the 60s, 70s got pulled up above. But we got so much moving around on this, man. It's pretty difficult. Pretty difficult to get a good read on it. There you go. Lifted. Yep. Ooh, somebody said 1030. Yeah, low impact. We got low impact news dropping right now. Orange folder, I'd be a little bit more cautious of. 10-year bond auction at 1:01 p.m. Eastern. Could be a little bit more dicey. But we could get some volatility coming in right now, 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Let's see how this reacts. Sell's looking nice. Yeah, I mean, not as nice as I'd like looking at bookmap. It's just, I use it in my trading, and when it gets really, really back and forth like this with just so much moving around, I'm just not as much of a fan. Overall, I'm okay with this trade. If it's going to be a trend day, we're going to start to push to the upside. I'm out, right? I'm out for a half risk. Nothing crazy. Not really going to be a big win or a big loss either way. So far. We're not really rejecting off of the 60s the way that I would like. 65s had some on. We start to crack towards that level, I could be in trouble for sure. We now have more stacking up at the 70s, 72s, 75s. I think we come back above this level. We could definitely reject up here, right? We could just sweep this high. But if we pull all the way back up on this, I could see this more likely breaking out and continuing if we really start to find buyers on this bad boy. Conversely, we start to chop. We come back down to VWAP. I like the trade, right? That's the thought process here. The way that I'm trading ES these days, if you can't just tell by the trade that I'm in right now, it's very from the extreme reversion focused, right? From the outside edges of whatever we're trading. They're back at 660. Let's take a look. Back to the mean, back to the area of high volume, temporary, area of high volume. Yeah, I saw that. So we filled that, right? We're talking about bookmap, talking order flow here. Looks like we filled that 660. We came through it, right? Trading back down to my entry here, 59.25, 59 flats. Buyers are holding this, man. I don't know. Again, not much for me to do, right? Once I put a trade on, I'm right nowadays, over the last couple of weeks, I've gotten very mechanical, kind of been forward testing, but that's really just trading it. A more consistent more consistent trade management approach, also risk management, but more consistent trade management approach. It's much more mechanical, much more systematic. Do nothing once the trade's on until it moves into profit. And then at certain points in profit, drag that stop loss pretty damn tightly behind price. It fits very well with this intraday trailing drawdown where if we start to move into profit and my max loss limit is automatically trailing up, that I'm trailing a stop loss behind it. But yeah, we got liquidity. We got orders that have came on and off the book down to the 55s. I wouldn't mind a crack through that, maybe 54. But we do have some up above, man. So this is dicey. That was a lot of volume that just filled right there, 1031. I don't know. I don't have a ton of faith in this one, but trade's on. I'm going to let it run. Yeah, we're not bad actually all the way down to the 35s, right? Andrew, or whoever else is watching this on bookmap, all the way back down to the 35s. We got 100 on the book. Here, let me zoom out on this. We got 105 on the book at 35. We got 87 at 35 and 3/4. We got like 80, 90 at the 40s. We got 125 down at 45. So yeah, if we start to move lower, there's some food for it to go and eat, but it's to both sides today. So I don't have a strong indication one way or the other with it, with bookmap in this type of situation. But we're going to hang out and wait and see. Again, guys, if you're hanging out with me, feel free, smash like, smash subscribe. I'm on here every damn day, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, showing you what trading looks like for me, 100% free. All my stuff stays up. You can hop on, check out what I got going on to say, that guy is great, that guy sucks. But you can make that decision for yourself. That's the beauty of just doing stuff live for free, right? If you had a bad time, I'll refund you, right? I'll send you $0. No, I'm just kidding. You want to hop in the 100% free Discord? I'll throw the link in the chat right now. I've had more and more people ask me about that. Straight up free Discord. We'll be more than happy to have you in there. Let's see. And if you want to check out Top 1 Futures, link is pinned in the chat, but I will drop it again here. 55% off. Code RDF gets you the best deal. The best deal meaning better than the current deal on the website, better than the deal in the email, better than anything else that's out there right now as far as I'm aware. 55% off the new accounts, the old accounts, the challenge accounts. Check them out for yourself, guys. Do your own research. Make your own decision. I'm biased, right? I can't be unbiased if I stand to make money. Important to be transparent about that. I think if everybody said that, the world would just be a little bit easier of a place. But it should be pretty obvious to this point if you hang out with me here or anywhere else. So let's see, consolidating up here around the 60s, right? We didn't just blast through, right? I didn't enter over here and we just absolutely ripped my face off. Consolidated, buyers holding it, not really wanting to get back below. We tried it a couple times. Could get a little dicey here. We started to try to head back down towards VWAP, but into this area of high volume, right? Back down towards this temporary volume point of control. But it looks like buyers want to try it, man. Looks like buyers want to try it to the upside. And if we do, I'm interested. I'd be interested to see if we really start to run highs, run this overnight high, push to the highest level that we've been. If we look all the way out on like the 4 hour, for example, a little bit more granular than the daily. But if you look at the price that we're trading right now, we haven't been at this level. We're above everything over here. We haven't been at this level since February, and end of February, right? We're all the way back up into February highs. We're really only trading a few percent, man. 3% off of all-time highs. It's pretty wild. We've bounced aggressively. 25% price change off of these lows, off of the April lows. Wild, man. Wild markets, but looking strong overall. I said earlier I'd rather be pressing the sell button, but this is my setup for the day, so I'm going to watch this one play out for as long as I can. 10:37 here. Yeah, we got a little bit of time. Chopping up here around the 60s. Yeah, bookmap could tell me it goes either way. It's not really helping me now at this point. It was helping me a little bit earlier. But too much moving around, too much either just indecision from genuine market participants that want to get filled or spoofing, manipulation. We start to come to the downside. 54 level, for those of you that, care, 54 level, I could see 163 on the book. That's pretty damn close to price. That could just be a quick wick down. That'd be close to give me enough to manage risk. But, yeah, we start to crack to the downside. That's going to be the play. Drag it into profit. But I don't know that we do. We got a lot going up now to the 70s, 72s, 75s, all the way up above this overnight high level. So we're going to see. But as you guys know, we put our trades on without hesitation or reservation. Don't know that I could say that today with this one down here with this long. And then let them play out. Let them play out to your stop loss, to your take profit, to whatever you do when you manage your trade. Try not to care too much about the individual result of any one trade idea, right? We know the market's very random on the short term. We are never going to know what happens next with any degree of certainty, but we can know what happens over a long period of time, right? Patterns tend to repeat themselves. They give us a way to structure risk, give us a way to create an edge in the market. Distribution, never brother, it's hard to press trigger in front of. Oh, for sure. For sure. Looks like they want the 60-70 level. Yeah. Yep. It could be the upside. We have that liquidity sitting there, Andrew, who's watching order flow, up to the 75s, right? Even the 80s. Like, we start to push to the upside. I think we could really go. But again, same thing to the downside. We start to kind of turn from back here. I would have liked to see this impulsive move and not consolidation here, because now that we start to consolidate, what can happen is, even if we are going to move lower, we wick out to the upside, take everybody out that got short off this consolidation, and then continue lower. Not much that I could prevent to do that now, right? Because I entered before we were consolidating. But that's a thought. So let's see if we can come lower. But good questions, chat. Is it okay to get just one account if you can't afford 7? Would this be meaningless? No, absolutely not meaningless. Yeah, what one account? Listen, for the copy trading thing, guys, one account to start, right? Here's the only time that you want to be copy trading. Really only a couple instances. Well, actually both should be checked off. One, you have the confidence based on some results for yourself to copy trade. You have a reason to believe that you stand to make money trading in the first place, whether it's a cent or $100,000. And then you start to, use more leverage, put more risk on the line. And then also that you're in a financial position to, put up more risk on the line, right? Someone like me or other traders are going to say, yeah, whatever, as many as you allow me to copy trade, I'm probably just going to do that because these accounts aren't a big, financial deal for me. The amount that I'm comfortable risking in the markets is much larger than this. I'm going to spend time trading these. I'd rather lose all of them and, lose my money, or make it to a payout and have that payout be, however many multiples of whatever accounts you're copy trading. But as far as not copy trading, absolutely not meaningless at all. And I don't think you should be copy trading, right? As a guy that's biased to say, yeah, buy all 7 accounts, man, it's dumb not to copy trade. I don't think you should be copy trading until you have a reason to copy trade, right? Checking off some of those boxes. So that's what I think, and again, if you're in a spot where you can't afford, or these are a big deal for you, if you don't have the results to support it yet, you're still just learning, there's nothing wrong with staying on demo for a while, right? If you're not in a financial position to lose money in the markets, right? Never risk what you're not willing to lose. You shouldn't put risk on at all. You can learn on demo to a degree. I think it is important to get off of demo as soon as you can and put risk on, because you face all of these other challenges. But if you're not in that type of spot financially, don't do that. Don't do that. Trading's very non-linear, even if you gain some consistency, but especially early on, man, you're paying tuition, right? You're not making money. So I think it's important to be real about that, for sure. For sure. Yeah, no, 100%, Richard. It's a good question, man. Again, I have people hit me up all the time that talk to me about different situations. They're not asking, some people not even asking me for anything, but they're just talking about their situation, really tough financial spot that they're in. They're trying to make, money trading to support something else in their outside life. And they haven't been trading for a while. And I always try to give them the hard truth, which usually people don't want to hear, and not say that I don't think you can do something just because I can't do it or I didn't do it. Maybe you can. But trading with your back up against the wall where you have to make money, in my personal opinion, you will never trade as well as the version of you that's not in that situation. The version of you that has, 6 figures in a bank account and is not worried about the couple hundred or couple $1,000s in prop accounts that are trading, right? I think most people would agree. I've talked to traders. I've talked to good traders, guys that I work with regularly that have dug themselves out of holes, that have, traded to make rent money. I'm grateful to not be in that situation or have been in that situation, but I can tell you the psychology and mindset around not being in that situation and it still being difficult is tough. If you're in that situation, I think it becomes near impossible, man. It becomes next to impossible. There's just so much other emotions that come into play. So, I would, like, what would you do if you're in that situation then? Learn when you can, learn on your free time without putting money on the line or as little risk as you possibly can. Create outside sources of income, work, side hustle, do whatever you're going to do. That type of stuff. And, we talked about that. I see work to live, trade to thrive, 100% been there. Someone asked a question, side hustle. Thanks for keeping it real. Trying to get to retirement. Staying on a practice account, just playing. This might be just a long and the short stream. Yeah. Trading is a skill that stays with you forever. Yeah, no, for sure. Morning, Ryan. What's up? And again, it's good conversation. I'm talking more recently about the benefits of keeping outside income, man. Even as you start to, get some consistency in trading, right? Make some progress, whatever it is. Not only will you be able to fund your trading journey, your risk capital, the not having all your eggs in one basket, not having trading be the end all be all, I think is so important. And I think it's often this dream that's sold, and it was definitely sold to me and something that I held on to for a long time. But it just doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't mean that you can't be good at trading and make meaningful income and have freedom and flexibility. Maybe you're a W-2 employee that works 100 hours a week, and it's probably, until you change that, that's not going to be the same. But there's so much in this world to go out and get. Don't pigeonhole yourself. Don't, that's my opinion. Don't pigeonhole yourself. Don't hold some ego and pride into being a full-time trader. I don't think it's beneficial, but that's my opinion. As we are watching this trade painfully chop around entry for me, I'm at the lows of now of this consolidation. Here we go to push the highs. Nothing for me to do. Nothing for me to do here. Selling off the top end of this. I don't mind my entry, right? I do judge my entries based on what happens right after, right? Do we just rip? Does price not even respect at all the level that I enter? Unless I'm entering super aggressively, I really don't like to see that, right? Do we consolidate? Do we chop? Do we have a fight between buyers and sellers? At least I was entering at a level that somewhat made sense. And for here, yeah, now we have the temporary volume point of control up here. Obviously, a lot of volume being traded. Am I on the right side of this movement? I don't know. I would have liked to see it move already, right? I would like to see an impulsive move down. Sellers have tried to bring this thing lower. We're continuing to come back up. We're consolidating here in a really tight range. Do I like any of this? No. Is there anything for me to do here based on my trade management style? Also, no. As we move into profit, if we move into profit, trailing stop into break even, we go and take me out. That's it. No worries. Nothing to do. So, yeah, that's the thought. Ryan, good morning. Good seller resistance here. Even ChatGPT confirmed. Gave it full explanation and image. Nice. Well, let's see how good ChatGPT is trading. ChatGPT wants me short here, guys, so we'll see. Took up a job when the payouts dried up. Now I trade slightly better as long as the bills are paid. I don't have the pressure to end green every day. Yeah, no, 100%. Again, just for fun, right? Forget about your whatever situation. If I took the version of me, let me just speak personally. If I took a version of me that had next to no money in the bank, and I had all these prop firm accounts, and I knew that I could work towards a payout and have some money in the bank and pay my bills or my mortgage or whatever and support my family, and I needed to do that, otherwise I didn't have money in the bank, or I take the version of me that has money in the bank, the bills are paid, everything's paid ahead, and you have outside sources of income that maybe it's not, everything that you want it to be, but if you didn't make any money trading at all, or you lost whatever money that you're trading with, which you should be ready to do, it's not really going to make or break anything. It's not going to have that much of a difference to what your lifestyle is like and, what's going on. That second version is going to smoke the first version, absolutely blow them out of the water. They're going to trade risk-free, right? They're just going to trade objectively based on what's going on in the chart. They're not going to go on tilt nearly as fast as the other one. They're not going to try to fight back to end green. That's just look at those two situations. So, trading is all about creating an edge, right? An edge on the charts, an edge in your mind, an edge in the way that you're thinking about trading. give yourself that edge again. And if you can't, if you're not in that position to do that, I'd be really cautious because I think you're trading from a massive disadvantage. This stuff that's who you're competing against, right? The guys who do have it all the money in the bank and they're trading accounts that they don't care about, right? It's still hard as hell over here. If you're trading from that scarcity mindset instead of the abundance mindset, not to use the, fluffy words, I think it's way harder. I think it's just way, way harder. So, I would try not to put yourself in that position, right? And if that means not trading, if that means keeping stupid low risk on the line that's really not going to mean anything to you if you make money with the account, that's probably what I would do while I work outside to put myself in a position where I could trade from a more risk-free, abundant mindset. That's my thought. Again, other traders I think will tell you otherwise. They'll tell you stories about back against the wall, digging themselves out of a hole. You have to make it happen. I think that can be really helpful, really motivational. Not giving yourself any option to quit. And I think that's important, but not from a sense of like, I'm dead broke. And if I don't make a payout tomorrow and end green today, then I'm going to be in trouble, because the market just doesn't work that way. And you're going to try to impose that need, that thought process onto random on the short term, consistent on the long-term markets. And it just does not play nice with you. So anyway, that's my rant, guys. That's my thought process. And again, that's not super motivational. That's not super encouraging for trading. It's not super encouraging for you to go out and buy accounts or spend any money on software or anybody that I'm affiliated with. But that's the truth. That's really what I believe in. I think the argument to the other side is very difficult to make. So anyway, that's my thought. I've been working since I was 16, hard labor, but now I stay-at-home dad, helping my wife future her career. So I'm taking trading seriously. Been trading for a year and 6 months. Hell yeah. Awesome. I think that's solid. I think it's really solid. And you asked the question about not buying 7 accounts. Yeah, I would keep risk low. Hold yourself back for as long as you can while you develop extreme confidence and just focus on trading well. There's always time to scale. There's so many prop firms. You can fund your own live accounts. There's always an opportunity to put more money behind your trading, right? But in the meantime, get good at trading, right? Get very confident at trading. And even then it's going to be difficult, but as you start to scale, you're going to have built that good foundation, and you didn't lose all of your trading capital on the front end. That would be my thought. That would be my thought process. Again, not financial advice. I'm an idiot from YouTube, so grain of salt everything I say. I don't trade this because of my system, but just having a little fun. Gotcha. This version. Does this version still have the beard? Yeah, both versions have the beard, but one is very stressed out and the other one's not so stressed out. No trade for me today, most likely. Yeah, this sucks. This is like, I don't know what this is, guys. Holding bullish overall. We're not getting a reaction. Chopping around, my entry. I don't know. We'll probably get some movement here coming up soon. I don't like now that we consolidated, right? Oftentimes when we do this, you're at more risk of a stop out where my stop loss is. If we come up and do this and I'm looking to short, great, right? Stop loss level, just talking about trading in general, market structure, price action. Stop loss level up here makes sense, right? That's all great. But if we instead come here, I'm going to describe exactly what happened to my trade right now, and we do this and we look like we're just consolidating, if we're going to move lower, what often happens? Take everybody and their mother, including Zach, out, and then sell off, right? We know that we often, sweep high, sweep liquidity, stop run, whatever we want to call it, to the upside before we come lower. So even if we are going to come lower now, I'm at higher risk of a stop loss. So that's kind of the thought process on this one. Not a great situation. Sitting through it now, 30 minutes. But again, patience, not much to do, right? Create a trade management style that works for you, that makes sense for you, and then stick to that. That is really something that I've tried to improve at myself. Collect data on it, right? Execute it, and then if it's not working so great, do something different. If it's working good, keep doing what you're doing. Can you look at my top account? No, because I don't work for Top One. I hang out in that Discord. I've been hanging out in it more, just trying to help guys who are looking for questions. When everybody's freaking out, I try to get to the bottom of what's going on so I actually know what's going on, but I don't see any back end stuff. I can't look at people's accounts. I can't look at any of that stuff. I can just ask questions and help people get to solutions based on them providing the information. But it's crazy, bro. It's so like frustrating sometimes. And again, I'm biased, right? But I come into the chat yesterday. Everybody's freaking out. Oh, payouts delayed, this and that. Nobody's getting paid out. What's going on? You get the fucking guy, excuse my language. You get the guys from Twitter that just come in that I can see them there, just there to take screenshots and then post it, and everybody from Twitter also asking. But when you slow everybody down, like I did, I'm like, all right, first off, as a person who's partner and affiliate, I want to know if there's a problem. And, I want to hear it from the firm, but I'm also going to hear it from the traders. So we slow everybody down. Everybody chills out for a second. We actually get to the bottom that there was one trader yesterday who was waiting more than 48 hours for a payout, not 10, not 20, one. And that trader had a specific issue with their Rise account, the way that they pay out, that had caused payout delays in the past for them specifically. Everybody else was on the high end of that window, to be fair, right? And it was a lot longer than the initial super fast payouts to go from super fast to 24 to 48 hours to you could be a red flag. But that's what they've been consistent with recently. And a couple hours after that, I check back in, everybody's getting paid, right? That guy was paid that was waiting 48 hours and everybody else. So it just gets crazy in there. So like, I want to know what's going on, right? If I hopped in there and everyone's like, yo, we're waiting like 5 days for payouts. Nobody's getting paid out. Nobody has any answers. Everybody should be paid out. I want to know about that. Try to understand, but that wasn't the case yesterday at all. And if you kind of slow everybody out of that mob mentality for a second, you can at least try to understand. So anyway, if you have an issue with your, okay, you're saying something. I was $35 to my first payout, bro, of 150K, but I lost my account because I was in a hurry to cash out and pay my rent. Oh, man. So what happened? You want to tell that story, brother? Because was it an issue? But and yeah, man, I've been in that spot before, not to pay my rent, but to try to get to a payout and push it. That sucks, dude. I'm sorry to hear it. But what happened? What happened, brother? With the trading wise. And again, like that's the conversation that we're talking about right now. We're putting pressure from the outside. Like, this is what I'm talking about, guys. I'm sorry. I genuinely empathize with people, man. I don't. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear it. That's a bad beat, man. Yeah. If you want to share the story, feel free, man. But no pressure. I can't stress that enough, man. Outside pressures, the way that you're thinking about trading, have such an influence. Unfortunately, on the results. So you got to try to put yourself in that situation to not have that stuff weighing in on you and your trading decisions. Just have to. As we're just patiently waiting here, can this come and take me out already or dump? Like, can we do something? Stuck in a trade, sitting now for, let's see, 35 minutes. We're finally starting to push to the upside, about halfway to my stop loss. Yep, right about halfway to my stop loss, trading out the 65s. We got liquidity to the 70s, the 72s, the 75s. Looks like we might want to go tag that. The 60s have been an interesting level. We failed to come back through it after testing a couple times. We're just continuing this slow zombie grind now, out of consolidation to the upside. Unless we get some real momentum now after kind of pushing the highs, maybe taking all the scalpers out a couple times that are getting short on this and save me, I think we're probably just going to drift higher. Unless we really find some momentum back down to VWAP here, this doesn't look great for me. But even though it doesn't look great, right, I'm not applying that discretion, that subjective interpretation to managing these trades. I'm keeping it very consistent and challenging myself to not do anything here, to not clip this one early, to not adjust anything until the level on my chart says adjust it. Yeah, got some guys sharing. We got a great community, man. I hear bro in the same boat. Yeah. 2024, trailing stop loss platforms. I feel you. Yep. Just grinding. Yeah, guys. Again, man, I would do everything you can to put yourself in a position where you do not need to make money from trading. As hard as that is, right? Because we're all here to make money, and we're looking at a P&L and we're structuring risk based on profit and loss. It's this gnarly dynamic that we have to deal with, and it's the reason that we can trade so well in demo, and we can often trade so well when when we're not caring about the account like that I've seen with my Top Step stuff. But I feel you. Covered on that last small dip for 2 points. Choppy consolidation pattern is no bueno for my style. Enzo, I agree with you, man. CPI sent this to upside today, most likely. Yeah, sent it to the upside and pulled it back down. Now we're drifting. Just choppy, man. AD beats shoveling doo doo. Thanks. Pressure was too much. Yeah, man. Bro, I'm sorry to hear it, man. I'm really sorry to hear it. But again, if there's anything else, not that this is consolation, use it as a lesson, right? Just use it as that learning experience to say, holy shit, man, I was right on the borderline of achieving that and taking the payout. I can obviously trade. My system works. My risk management works. I allowed outside, stressors to influence my trading decision. I applied my desire and need to make money right now today, to my trading decisions. And in the random market, it just doesn't work super well. Should have been long. VWAP break is 6. Austin. Yeah, Austin with a with a super chat. I see you came back in. Everybody say what's up to Austin Silver with ASFX? Yeah, bro. I'm gonna have to go back and show you the clip of me being distracted and not entering long here. Frustrating. You hit the nail on the head, though. This was my mistrade from today. This was my mistrade for sure. Long on the VWAP break, back above after pulling back, following higher time frame structure, everything lining up to the upside. Waited for the dip down below after buyers holding it here. Now just stuck in chop, looking at a consolidation and maybe a wick above before it goes and grabs my stop loss. But yep, good call out. For those that want to check out ASFX TV, want to check out some badass VWAP traders, or even more than just ASFX TV, a serious mentorship program that I've seen a lot of good traders come out of. Click on ASFX's logo right there and go check them out. Along with that, I got a bunch of podcasts out with Austin and a whole bunch of other guys we've been working with. Roundtables, talking about prop firms, talking about really everything trader related, everything under the sun. And a lot of what we were just talking about here, not creating this insane, I need to be a trader and that's it. I need to only be trading prop firms and, not look to pull outside source of income, right? Was sitting at that round table, hearing from different traders, doing different things around trading, things outside of trading, real estate. It's cool. I saw Zach, didn't see. Might have to switch to ES. Yeah, ES is cool. Early price action. Would love to have Austin on this. Yeah, I've done a lot of different stuff with Austin, man. He runs his own stuff all day, every day, and it'll probably go the other way around. I'll probably be on Austin's ASFX TV coming up pretty shortly. Been on there before, doing some live trading. And if we set one of those up, I'll make sure you guys get the invite for sure. I'll come on when Zach can afford me. Yeah, I definitely can't pay that tab. 1 million rupees. You guys are funny. Austin needs a radio contract. 500 at 60. There we go. Yeah, we'll get him on. We'll get the big dog on soon. Let's look at bookmap. We got someone calling out. Did it fill? Looks like we had a lot that came on there. No, I don't think so. It didn't. A lot getting moved around on bookmap today. Not helping me out too much. We've got some stuff sitting up above. That's not looking good for my short, but nothing really for me to do besides hang out and watch how this one plays. So we'll get a long live session. Be hanging with you guys. Yeah, no worries, Fireblade. If you hop on late, I see someone from the Discord, you guys and your crazy names, talking about volume profile. I'll throw it in Discord after. We'll talk about it. We'll run through volume profiles I use and don't use and stuff that I go through there. Chopping around, chopping around. Let's see. Just checking a couple messages, guys. Some of you love to chat in Discord and not hop on the live, which is cool. You can do whatever you like, but try to keep tabs. Yeah, we got some guys sharing charts. Check that later. Yeah, what do you guys think, chat? What do you think? What do you think? Does anyone know of a signal generator? I don't know what a signal generator would be. Scott, I use NQGPT. That's interesting. I don't know anything about that. I can't speak on that. Ryan sounded like he was talking about something about AI earlier. Definitely can't speak on that one. What do you guys think on this? Let's throw a poll in the chat. Let's throw a poll in the chat. Kind of done for the day. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. If I wasn't in this one, I might be as well. There's the poll, chat. Let me know what you guys think. We going to the moon or we selling off straight to hell? You guys looking long or short from up here? What's your bias? What do you think? I'm sitting short now, going on like 40 minutes. It's a long live session. I'm just sitting in this trade, gonna watch it play out, at least for now, or until I have to hop off. Yeah, we're past the 11 o'clock. I'm gonna hang for a little bit longer, and then you'll know what happens afterwards by just watching it play out for yourself. But yeah, 43 minutes in this trade. I was looking short off these 60s as we came up. Area of potential resistance, right? Area on bookmap that was looking enticing. Low risk trade, looking at the downside, copy trading this 7-pack, consolidated, really just consolidated and chopped up here. Not super confident that we are going to dump at any point, but the way that I'm managing these trades is nothing for me to do right now besides just hang out, take the stop loss on the chin, or watch this thing start to run back down into profit and drag this bad boy. And hang out with you guys, talk mindset, talk trading, talk whatever you like. But while we're hanging, man, smash the like button, hit subscribe. If you're new here, you want to chat for next time, I keep subscriber mode on, try to limit the trolls, but more than happy to have you guys in here. And if you want to hop in the free Discord, got the free Discord as well. Let's run through it while we're just hanging out one more time. 55% off top 1 futures right now. The new straight to funded Sim Pro accounts, as well as everything else with code RDF. Link is pinned to the top of the chat if you want to check that out. As always, guys, I'm biased, right? I stand to make money. Do your own research, make your own decisions. Check out all the videos if you want to know what the hell these are, like compare and contrast. I've been dumping videos on these things. Feel free to check those out. Comparison against these and the old accounts, what the ESS rule is, what, info on the new accounts, all that fun stuff. All that fun stuff. Back in action. Oh, we got all the boys on the live today. We got strong trading. Tanner, what is going on? You guys are probably going to want to hit that one as well. That is another. Tanner was on the show earlier. If you don't know, Tanner the Strong Trader, you probably want to check out his YouTube. He's going live. Him and another badass trader, Lawrence. These are all solid traders that you probably want to get some value from. That do a whole lot free. I hate the action today. I was red. Strong trader in the house. Yeah, bro. Like button smashed. Hell yeah. Yeah, dude. I don't like this. Here we are. We're gonna try to the downside, chat. Whoa, there we go. Let's see. I'm not going stop loss break even just yet. Can we try to the downside? We got some volatility. We didn't quite get to the level that I was looking, coming down into the 50s. to start to drag into profit. 50s 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 to start to Yeah, see, here's the dicey move with these accounts, right? We are just a couple points into profit, 4 points. That max loss limit is trailing up with me, right? So it's definitely a serious consideration on these, to not really aggressively trail as price starts to move. I'm trying to follow a pretty damn mechanical system here. This is not enough. As we start to come down to the low end of this, break the lows again, I'm going to trail this quickly into profit. But for right now, I got to let this come back on me. If we're just going to wick below and then take off to the moon, I'm going to have to. Okay, we're going to try it. Let's see. There we go. We're going to trail on this one pretty aggressively into profit. There we go. Trailing aggressively into profit on this. Really aggressively. Probably going to take a stop here. Very aggressively right back down to VWAP.
Order filled.
Boom. Trailed out on that one. Very, very aggressively trailed behind price. As we came close to VWAP, I'm really cautious that this could be a wild wick back up. And again, with these intraday trailing drawdowns on unrealized profit, that's trailing right behind me. This thing may absolutely sell off and dump. I'm more than happy to realize $372 in profit. Hella W's in the chat. Tanner, you're awesome, bro. Hella W's in the chat. Throw them in, guys. Here's the fun part about copy trading $1 million in sim capital. Sim, right? It's not real, right? Here's the fun part about that. That's $2,600 in profit across these 7 accounts, right? So the 500 loss would also be a large loss, but that $372.20 times 7 is $2,600. So a lot of fun trading these. I try not to turn into a complete degenerate idiot sim farmer. I'm going to try to trade well in a way that would translate to a normal account, right? But there we are, bouncing back off VWAP. Cracked a little bit lower than what I was trailed out there, but pretty aggressive bounce right off of VWAP. There's your opportunity to get long again if you wanted to run that. But yeah, stayed super patient. That was painful. That was painfully long. Where did I get short? Like here? Somewhere over here? Holy shit. Took like almost an hour of just nothing, man. Almost an hour of nothing. But, patience pays, right? Not always. On another day, right? This just comes right up and rips my face off. It does it here. It pops out of this area of consolidation. But if you are ever going to track some data, you got to apply some consistency. And I've repeated it 20 times because it's what I was waiting to do. I'm really systematically, mechanically, consistently, whatever you want to call it, managing my trades these days. Even as we started to come down, right? And I wanted to drag into profit, I'm like, I got to wait. We're not there yet. But it's pretty much the same move. I'm very slightly different. I'm going to be very slightly different on what I do on these accounts versus the not intraday trailing drawdown. Being a little bit more flexible with when and how fast and where I drag it into profit. But with these ones, just a hair tighter. But again, it's very consistent, same stuff. So anyway, guys, nice you earned it, brother. Yeah, awesome. Got to run. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, Tom killing it. Very nice. Tom killing it. Yeah, we got another W. What is it, Wednesday? No trade Monday. W yesterday. W today. Again, small, but copy traded across 7 accounts. I kept risk low on this one. That's one question I'm going to have to ask myself, continuing. Do I want to allow myself the opportunity to keep risk low and throw $500 of risk on versus 1,000? If I want to give myself a second trade the way that I wanted to on these accounts, starting out, yes, I want to allow myself, but if I take that half risk trade today, right, and my winner is $372, and then tomorrow I'm full risk and I realize $1,000, then I go back and the next winner is a half risk trade, it begs the question whether or not that's makes sense. And I'm coming to believe more and more that that's an area that I'm probably going to get even more consistent on, is just dead set on, risk per trade. I like to be a little bit dynamic, give myself a little bit flexibility because I have the confidence and I feel the experience personally to attempt to do that. But that's my post-trade review with you guys. And Old Farce hesitated to pull the trigger. I guess I'll go take Appreciate you, bro. Listen, I missed it here, right? I missed it here. Austin hopped on, and I know he wasn't here from the beginning. Austin hopped on and knew exactly the spot that I was looking long as well. Right here, breakthrough VWAP. He took it from the 47s. I was looking right down here. You guys can go back and watch. I'm happy to show you what real trading looks like. I don't have to pretend to be the best trader in the world, that I never make mistakes. And if you want to say I suck at trading, that's totally cool. I'll high five you. Hop on here and fade me. But that's one that on another day I'm in, and I should have been on today, right? Would not have had to wait for all of this crap to happen. Looking at how I would have probably entered into this area. Yeah, I don't think it would have been a winner because this would have trailed me out for sure. But this would have been a trail in profit, trail into profit. So maybe I would have got a second trade, maybe not. Anyway, guys, this was awesome. Appreciate you. Finally had that one play out. Hour and 43 minutes on the live. This is long. Again, guys, if you want to check out, before I hop off, if you want to check out Top 1 Futures, this code is good. When is it? This code's good for a week. I didn't know it was Wednesday. I thought it was Friday. So that code is good for a week. RDF, 55% off all accounts, including the straight to funded Sim Pro. You can copy trade over $1 million in Sim Capital with no eval. These rules are strict. They're cheap accounts, but they are strict rules. ESS, the intraday trailing drawdown, this stuff is no joke. If you're starting from scratch, you're a beginner, these probably aren't for you. If you're someone that wants to run profits, wide stops, these might not be for you. But guess what? Just like everything else in life, head to the website, click on frequently asked questions, do your own research, make your own trading decisions. Make your own decisions on prop firms, make your own decisions on everything. I'm biased. I'm an idiot on YouTube. I'm definitely not a financial advisor. So don't take anything that I say seriously. And we'll finish up with that disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing you see or hear from me is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. I don't provide financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that I was just talking about that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content like Top 1 Futures, RDF, bookmap, and others. Can't be unbiased. Peace to my guys that are saying peace in the chat. Another W. Hope to see you guys in Discord. Hop back on tomorrow. An L is coming, right? We'll see it. You guys will watch it play out live. And hopefully we'll just continue to work towards some profit in these accounts, man. We'll see. We've had some small W's. This has been 2 trail outs. Nothing crazy. 2 small W's relative to the risk that I had on both of these. But green nonetheless. Let's see what we could do. All the way back up to entry on this one off of VWAP. Trade safe. You guys are trading the rest of the day. Structure your risk. These markets are wild. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks for being here. As always, subscribe if you want to hang out for next time. Check out the rest of the videos. I'll see you in Discord.